Hello chess friends, and welcome to Jozarov chess channel, and welcome to a very special video that I've prepared for you today. In this video we're trying to beat the world champion Magnus Carlsen. Of course we cannot beat Magnus when it comes to chess, but we are trying here to beat Magnus Carlsen in football. And today I watched really one of the coolest clips by Magnus Carlsen. He gave an interview and he tried to set up the best chess players in history on a football field. So he had to build sort of a formation and put really the best players in chess history on a football field. And he started with a 3-4-3 formation. He had a goalkeeper and then he had also 3 defenders. He didn't reveal so far his midfield players and also his attackers, his wingers, his striker. He didn't reveal it so far in the video, but I decided to do this once. I really had the idea to make this, but then I watched this video and had to start immediately to put really the best 11 chess players in history on a football field. And this setup I think could even beat the world champion Magnus Carlsen against his setup. So as I said, I really love the fact that Magnus Carlsen is a football fan as myself, because I used to play football for 13 years in clubs. Really, I also played here the 3rd national league in Croatia in football, and many members of my family, many friends of mine are saying that I was even a better football player than I'm a chess player. So of course we cannot beat Magnus Carlsen when it comes to chess, but I think I still could beat Magnus Carlsen one-on-one in football, and I think I can beat Magnus Carlsen also with my setup, with my top 11, with my top chess players from history. I tried a different setup than Magnus Carlsen. My formation here is 4-3-3. So first I wanted to explain you, maybe when you're not so into this football thing, but I will explain you the positions. So we have the number 1 here, it's the goalkeeper, of course. Then we have the fullbacks, the number 3 and 2. These are defenders, but in modern football they can also play a very nice offensive role. They're moving up maybe to this player where you see maybe to the player 7, to the player 11. So in modern football fullbacks are very important. Then we have the center backs, we have the number 4 and 5, and then we have the defensive midfielder. The defensive midfielder is a very important player on the pitch. He has to defend. When maybe the number 8 or the number 10 screws up in the midfield, then he has to clear some things. I think we had really great players in the past, and we have now the number 8, which is the so-called deep playmaker. In modern football era, there were really great deep playmakers like Xavi, Iniesta, also my landsman from Croatia, Luka Modric is a great 8 sort of. And we have the attacking wingers, which are of course the number 11 and 7, and then we have the striker, the number 9. So I will also reveal you my top 11 in football of all times, combined with my top chess 11 football players. So we're starting now with the number 1, which is of course the goalkeeper, and I will explain you what are my ideas, why did I put these players on that positions. And as I said, we're trying to beat Magnus Carlsen's setup. So we're starting with the number 1. It's Vishy Anand, and there is, I think, a good reason why I put Vishy Anand as a goalkeeper. First of all, Vishy Anand seems to me like a reliable person, first of all, and you have to rely always on your goalkeeper. Many times you will see that football games are won with a great goalkeeper. And the fact about goalkeepers, I know that also because I played really football for a long time, is that football goalkeepers can stay a long time professional, like Vishy Anand is. Of course, Vishy is 50 years old and he still is playing great chess. So still we had really great goalkeepers in the past, like Oliver Kahn. We had Gianluigi Buffon. Gianluigi Buffon is still playing actively football, and he's 42 years old. I'm not sure, maybe it's 41, 42, as I said, but Gianluigi Buffon is my pick when it comes to the best goalkeeper of all time. So we have the Gianluigi Buffon of chess, and in my opinion it's the world champion Vishy Anand. So let's see now. The number two, it's the right fullback. We have here Alexander Alekhine. As we said, this fullback has to be also defensively strong. He has to be also active all over the pitch when it comes to the attack. I think Alexander Alikhin is a good choice, in my opinion. One of the best one of the best football players as a right fullback was the player Cafu. He was the captain of the national team of Brazil. He was really an outstanding fullback. He played offensively very good. He played defensively very good. And he deserves, I think, really his spot in football history, and also Alexander Alikhin really deserves his spot in chess history. So Alexander Alikhin is our Cafu of chess history, so he's the right fullback. So we're now moving up to the left fullback. It's of course the Turing machine, Jose Raul Capablanca. And Jose Raul Capablanca I've put on the left fullback because he reminds me a little bit of my favorite player when it comes to the left fullback, and it's the player Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos really changed the game of football, and I think Jose Raul Capablanca also changed the chess game. His accuracy, his attack, his defense was something revolutionary, I think. So that's why, if you have maybe followed this player Roberto Carlos, our fellow, of course, Jose Raul Capablanca is the Roberto Carlos of chess. So we have now the center backs. We have our first center back. It's here Vladimir Kramnik. His Berlin defense in 2000 against Garry Kasparov was really special, so he deserves really his spot when it comes to the defense. He's our best defender, and in football history I would compare him maybe with the player Franz Beckenbauer. So Vladimir Kramnik is our Franz Beckenbauer of chess, because Vladimir Kramnik, not that he only was a good defender, I think he introduced us to many sharp lines of the Berlin defense, introduced us many great lines of the Semislav defense, which are supposed to be static openings, and I think Vladimir Kramnik is a great defender, so he deserves here to be on our pitch as a central defender. And next to him we have a new defender, and it's of course the Iron Tigran. Tigran Petrosyan, one of the best defenders. I would compare him to the player Paolo Maldini. Paolo Maldini was a great central defender from Milan. He spent his whole career, Paolo Maldini spent his whole career in only one club in AC Milan. So here I would compare, I think, Tigran Petrosyan with Paolo Maldini. He is really reliable defender, and Petrosyan really played sharp games in which he defended like a lion. Especially there is also one historical game against Garry Kasparov where he moved his king towards the center and tried to defend this position, and he managed to defend the position against Garry Kasparov and outplayed the shark, the beast from Branko Garry. So he deserves, I think, also his place on the pitch, especially when it comes to defense. And we have now the defensive midfielder. Now we come to the very critical positions in football. I think the defensive midfielder is really a very important position. I didn't like to play that. I used to play, when I played football, I like to play the position 10, which is the offensive midfielder, or the number 9, which is the center striker. We have now, of course, the number 6, and we have here Anatoly Karpov, the boa constrictor. Anatoly Karpov, the defensive midfielder, because this defensive midfielder has to be always aware of positions. He has to, as I said, if the number 8 or number 10 screws up in the position, if the number 8 or number 10 loses the ball, then the number 6 has to clear everything. So that's why Anatoly Karpov is our positional master, our positional brilliant player in football history. I would compare him maybe to the player Patrick Vieira, if you have followed maybe the French national team from 1998, and also in the future Patrick Vieira was, I think, an outstanding defensive midfielder. I would compare here Anatoly Karpov with that football player. Here Anatoly Karpov is our Patrick Vieira of chess history. So let's move up now to a very important position, and you will probably not agree with me, but I'll explain you what I meant about it. We have now the number 8, and now we have already Magnus Carlsen. So we're battling against Magnus Carlsen, but here Magnus Carlsen, in my opinion, deserves to wear the number 8. This guy, this number 8 in football, it's the so-called deep playmaker. And we have, as I said, we had really in the past really great players like Luka Modric is playing still active for Real Madrid, Xavi, Iniesta, Andrea Pirlo. This position is very, very complex. This guy has to defend, but this guy has to also create chances. So this guy moves up from the 16-meter yard to the opponent's 16-meter yard. He has to be also in top shape. This guy, in my opinion, is the most important player on the pitch. So that's why I decided to put here Magnus Carlsen. This guy has to have everything: attacking possibilities, taking the ball from the opponent, has to have creativity. And I think the only player that had really everything in chess history is simply Magnus Carlsen. He has really everything. He has endgame skills, middle game strategies, opening preps, tactics, strategics, really all of these beautiful elements of the chess game. So as I said, maybe Magnus is watching this video, probably he's not watching this video, but as I said, in my opinion, this number 8 is really the most important player. He's the Luka Modric of Real Madrid. He's the Xavi, he's the Iniesta of Barcelona. So I decided to put here Magnus Carlsen. So now we come to the number 10, and this is now the offensive midfielder. This guy has to have the best creativity of all, and I decided to put here the legendary beast from Baku, Garry Kasparov. So this guy is an attacker. He has to have, as I said, the best creativity, and he reminds me, when it comes to football, maybe I would make a comparison with the player Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane, in my opinion, was such a great dancer. I used to, in my opinion, Zinedine Zidane, I really love to watch the most because he used to dance on the pitch. He didn't run on the pitch. If you have followed maybe the player Zinedine Zidane, he was really outstanding. His attacking skills was so great, his technique, and that's why I decided to compare Garry Kasparov, because when it comes to chess, Garry Kasparov has of course a great technique, and when it comes to football, Zinedine Zidane had also a great technique. So that's why the number 10 is here, Garry Kasparov's play. So let's see now here the number 11, and we have here now the Ronaldinho of chess. It's Paul Murphy, forward winger here, the number 11, the sharp attacker. You don't know what to expect when this winger is running against you. When you're a defender, you don't want to have Paul Murphy in front of you like Ronaldinho in football. You don't want to have a bad game against Paul Murphy, because Paul Murphy will sacrifice everything, will find good ways to attack you. And like Ronaldinho, if you leave him some open spaces, then of course you get crushed. Here Paul Murphy, I think, deserves also to be our forward winger. He was really one of the best attackers in chess history. So we have now the number 7, and we have here Bobby Fischer. Bobby Fischer is the Lionel Messi of chess, the GOAT, maybe someone says, but as I said, in my opinion, the number 8 and number 10 are the most important places on the pitch. But still, Bobby Fischer, attacker like Paul Murphy, deserves here really his place. Paul Murphy, really someone considering him of course to be the GOAT. Sometimes I can agree, sometimes I'm not agreeing with you, but as I said, here he is really one of the best attackers in chess history. Like Paul Murphy, you don't want to have Bobby Fischer running against you. Of course, that's a metaphor in chess, but as I said, he is the Lionel Messi of chess here. Bobby Fischer, the right attacker, right wing attack, here a great position for our Bobby. And now we come to the striker, and now we have, I think, a great difference between my setup and Magnus Carlsen's setup. I'll show you the link of Magnus Carlsen's video, of course, in the description below, so you can check it out. Number 9 is the striker. The striker has to be a great player. Striker needs only slightly chance to score a goal, and in my opinion, the only player who did that in the past in chess is of course the legendary Misha, the Mikhail Tal. Of course, this the wizard, it's really his place. I think here it's the simple place for Mikhail Tal, the number 9. He's the striker, because if Mikhail Tal has a chance, he wasn't of course sometimes an accurate player. His tactics were sometimes wrong, but when Misha gets his chances, he will score a goal, because you don't want to leave any opportunity for a great tackle like Misha. And he reminds me really of this player now these days that he's playing, of course, of Cristiano Ronaldo. Maybe will not agree with the choice of football by my of mine, because I think Cristiano Ronaldo is a great attacker. You leave him one single opportunity and he'll score, like Mikhail Tal used to make, of course, in chess. Here our number 9 is, of course, the magician from Riga, Mikhail Tal. So this is my top 11. So beat this Magnus Carlsen. I think it's a great setup. 4-3-3 formation. So as I said, we have Vishnyanand as a goalkeeper, fullbacks, right fullback Alexander Alikin, and the number 3 here, Jozarov, Capablanca, Vladimir Kramnik, and Tigran Peterson as central defenders. Defensive midfielder, really all-round player here, Anatoly Karpov. Deep playmaker, really positional understanding all over the pitch is Magnus Carlsen. Creative midfielder is, of course, here Garry Kasparov, and our three great attackers, Bobby Fischer, Paul Murphy, and Mikhail Tal, are closing our top 11. I hope you can agree with me in some of these positions. As I said, this was just for fun. You can agree, you probably will disagree with me, but as I said, this is my top 11 and I decided to put them like this. So okay, as I said, beat this Magnus. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was really only for fun. If you want to see maybe my top 10 that I've also analyzed on my channel, I've also made the top 10 of the players of all times. Here's also the link, and I've also created this top 10 defenders in chess history. Here's also the link. You can also check out my choice. As I said, you will probably not agree with me, and as I said, if you like this content, you can also subscribe to my channel. See you soon with some more videos, and chess is the best, of course.